Hello everyone and welcome to the the fourth best of 3 in the Intel Extreme Masters Season 1 Successor games, and this time we're going to watch the human mirror of this group of 4 players, and of course it's going to be between Insomnia, the Bulgarian who spawns in blue on the left hand side of Echo Isles, and miou, the German human who spawns in yellow on the right hand side of Echo Isles. So for Insomnia, no matter how this best of 3 ends, it's definitely going to be his last appearance in this tournament, as he already played his other 2 best of 3s against Ciara and Grubby, and he lost both of them with a total map score of 1-4. And that means since Grubby is already up at 6 points, no matter how this best of 3 ends, Insomnia is not going to be able to surpass him anymore. And since only the first of this group can advance, Insomnia is definitely out. Then again, this is the only rematch that we've seen so far in the tournament, because both of these players were in Group D together, and on Playday 1 in as part of an Intel Extreme Masters Intel Friday night game in front of a live audience, miou pretty much humiliated Insomnia in 2 very one-sided games and took him down with 2-0, and maybe that's going to provide some incentive for Insomnia to still give it his best here. Maybe he's out for revenge, and maybe he wants some payback for what happened between him and miou in the group stage. By the way, the first map back then was also Echo Isles. And yeah, miou and Insomnia are gonna get their IEM out in just a second. For miou, by the way, this is the first match in the Successor games. He's going to play this against Insomnia, afterwards against Ciara, and the last game is going to be between him and Grubby. And yeah, both of them start by creeping the green camps on top of their bases. Circlet for miou, circlet for Insomnia, so completely even as far as that goes. Scout Footman here, Scout Militia here. He's actually being chased by the Footman. Does he see him? Yeah, he sees him, so, but he's not reacting in time. Alright, miou heading towards the next green camp, so does Insomnia. Of course, very early on, there's not too much to talk about. We'll see what the players are going to decide to go for in terms of strategy. Looks like Insomnia is putting the peasants right now. We'll see if he's going to go for his natural expansion immediately, or for his... what's he doing? He's microing there a little bit. For his natural expansion or for the Merc camp, and it seems to be the Merc camp. miou chasing after his peasants, but he doesn't kill him, surviving with 3 HP. Maybe he expected the last hit to do a little bit more damage, because that wasn't really necessary to let that one get away. In the meantime, the Footman here did he get rid of the Scout Peasant? I'm assuming he did, because the Scout Peasant is nowhere around, and therefore, cannot just have left this farm, so he's probably been taken down. IEM is creeping towards level 3. He found the Boots of Speed, which he's going to be very satisfied with. Force Shadow Priest for Insomnia. miou, on the other hand, is taking his expansion here pretty early on. He's not going to get the level 3, but he's going to have it crept more quickly, of course, than Insomnia, who seems to be going for the same thing right now. But he's going to have mercenary support. He's going to have his expansion up probably a little bit later. Tech-wise, of course, neither of them is going to start anytime soon, because the fast expansion is going to be built first. And if you remember, or if I remember correctly, on the match on Echo Isles in the group stage, it was more or less like that, and miou was able to strike with a perfect timing while Insomnia was constructing his expansion, and getting a huge advantage early on already. miou creeping the level 3 right now as well, and it looks like both of them are going to encounter for the first time right now, as this time Insomnia is putting up some pressure with a pretty decent timing. Both of them spawning their first level 2 wartime mantles. Of course, the Force Throw Shadow Priest is going to provide a huge advantage here for Insomnia, as he's going to be able to get rid of the water mantle of miou very quickly. In the meantime, Insomnia splitting his army here, trying to do some damage against the very vulnerable peasants. In the meantime, 2 Arcane Towers already being produced for miou, so in a couple of seconds he's gonna have, you know, his expansion a lot safer than previously. And of course, with those, he can work against water metals and the IEM. Very nice. The 4-stroke Berserker here doesn't get microed back, which is a little bit surprising. Insomnia losing that one miou without the Boots of Speed, of course, doesn't really have any means of chasing this 4-stroke Berserker down if it had been microed properly, but it wasn't. The 4-stroke Shadow Priest is going to be microed back here early on. In the meantime, 1 peasant remains here for Insomnia. He even kept 2 footmen down here, maybe to potentially continue creeping at some point. 4-stroke Shadow Priest still running away. IEM is chasing after footmen here. And both of the players did get their expansions set up in the meantime. Both of them running, of course. miou's is a little bit better defended, whereas Insomnia, with his second 4-stroke Shadow Priest, is looking quite decent when it comes to you know, fighting basically. Let's see. Okay, miou denying the footman here, not giving any more experience to Insomnia, who of course has a little bit of an experience advantage because of his different creep route. miou still did of course not take his mercenary camp, and the 4-stroke Shadow Priest is now finally going to be taken down. At least one of them is. But yeah, this match kind of all over the place at the moment. Everyone chasing stuff off the opponent, some harassment going on, some multitasking going on. Let's check what the players are doing in their main bases. Tech for both of them. Insomnia is slightly ahead, just getting his slumber mill now, and so is miou, who is right now going to apply some pressure. And yeah, as there are no towers, maybe he's going to be able to get a few kills here in the peasant line of his opponent. The water metal is being pulled away, as it's already taken plenty of damage. The first of miou's footman is falling. Defense used by the German, which is, you know, of course a huge help against the level 2 water metals of his opponent, but still, he seems to not have enough to really keep the pressure up here. And as far as I can tell, one of miou's footmen is the only unit that actually went down here. Maybe the 4-stroke Shadow Priest is going to fall as well. In the meantime, blacksmith for miou, shop for miou at his expansion, and he's going to fall back. At least for the moment. The next 2 footmen here have taken down the footman of miou that was low HP, and doing damage to the scout farm. And Insomnia, wow, pretty greedy here, trying to lure away miou as it appears with his 1 footman. miou isn't going for it though. He's turning around and he is going to be able to even get the creep check in here. Is Insomnia? He already got the level 4, so never mind me questioning that for him. Heat scroll and immo potion have been bought. miou gets the scroll of protection here, which is going to be useful for, you know, only for so long. And the 1 footman might fall here as well. miou with the IEM is going to chase after him. He does, or did get the Boots of Speed in the meantime as well. Footman is going to survive this hit, but the next one is going to get rid of him. Level 4 from miou's IEM in the meantime. Bane of Lightning Shield and Manual of Health have dropped here, and finally the scout farm is being taken down. Both of the IEMs once again heading towards the middle. Tech wise, Insomnia is done. miou is going to be done in just a second. And Panda for Insomnia, and miou, I'm assuming, is probably going to go for the same second hero choice, and that's exactly what we're seeing. So 50 supply for Insomnia. For miou, 46 for Insomnia. Both of them have saved plenty of gold, not too much lumber. We'll see what they are going to decide to go for here strategically. And once again, miou is trying to apply some more pressure here against the peasant line of Insomnia. But again, I don't think anything has died here so far. And Insomnia is trapping the footman here, as it seems, with all of his peasants. There is mana for 2 more Breaths of Fire on miou's Panda. Let's see where he decides to spend it. Okay, into the peasant line. Still not doing too much damage. And all of miou's footmen are falling here. And yeah, that actually puts Insomnia only in a slight supply lead. Looks like he's finally losing some of his peasants here as well, as miou is properly focus firing with his water metals here, but given the large number of lumber peasants here, Insomnia is going to be able to get his expansion running again very, very quickly. Tower surviving here. miou is driven back for the moment at least. Looks like he's trying to get one more pick off on one of the low HP footmen. One more hit. No, he's got to turn around here. Panda did get the boots of speed from the IEM in the meantime, whereas for Insomnia we do see the same thing. So both of the players passing the boots of speed to their melee hero, just to have him be a little bit more agile, a little bit more, you know, able to squeeze out of possible surrounds. In the meantime, double Arcane Sanctum for miou. In his main base, tier 3 is coming and a Griffin Aviary. Alright, whereas Insomnia is going for tier 3 as well. Again with a tiny tech advantage, maybe a second or so. Blacksmith now coming. miou does have his Blacksmith already, and Insomnia with double Arcane Sanctums.
Job's done.
So yeah, we do see Insomnia going for another one of the middle creep camps. He's gonna get this one entirely. And again, miou is the one who's trying to keep the pressure up here. Which, you know, we'll see in the long run if it's gonna work out for him. See, Insomnia does have a town portal on his IEM, but it appears like he's going to just end up running back to his expansion. Once again, a couple of peasants are being taken down. Insomnia is for now evacuating. The Arcane Tower is now gonna fall, which is going to leave this expansion exposed even further than it was previously. Panda with the next Breath of Fire taking down one more peasant. The second one is falling. A third one is gonna fall as well. But the first casters of the Bulgarian arrive. One priest is immediately being taken down, but with the two sorceresses with a slow, he should definitely be able to hold this at least in the long run. But miou is doing plenty of damage to the melee army of Insomnia, and there's actually not too many units remaining for him. miou once again diving into the peasant line here, but attacking the panda right now, so probably not microing the footman properly. Two of the three have already fallen. Next Breath of Fire is coming in, doing some damage to the peasant line, but yeah, keep in mind it's still only a level 1 Breath of Fire, so not doing all too much. And for both of the players, more or less only the heroes are remaining, but with the 3 water mantles of Insomnia against only one of miou, and his level 5 IEM against the level 4 still of miou, he's, as I said previously, definitely strong enough to push miou away. And yeah, now the sorceresses come into play, slow on the IEM once more, and he's probably gonna be forced to town portal with 8 HP. Wow, waiting very long here, and he's getting out of that. Panda is gonna survive. I guess the lightning shield's still not going to be picked up. Okay, fair enough. By the way, greater mana potion found on the panda here up on the top. And yeah, let's look at where we're at right now. Level 4, 2 for miou, couple of priests, more priests coming, master coming, mortar teams coming. And okay, looks like we're not going to be able to take a look at where Insomnia is at the moment, as we're seeing the next engagement already. Dispels are coming in for miou, of course, with the with his priest only army. That's what he's gonna have to bank on. The panda of Insomnia a little bit ahead of the panda of miou. Paladin already added by the German, not yet. For Insomnia, at least not yet out. And looks like miou is gonna get the majority of this creep camp, and he's definitely gonna need that because he's facing the level 3 panda right now with his only level 2 panda. So that's not gonna benefit him. Holy Light onto miou's panda, and as we can see, Paladin of Insomnia is out right now as well. First Knight joining the army, first Mortar team joining the army. And at least until the Paladin arrives and can heal the panda here, looks like Insomnia is gonna have to fall back just for the moment. Panda really needs to be careful, but we do see on the minimap already the Paladin is on his way, and we're gonna see the first Holy Light just now on the obvious target, which is the panda. Drunken Haze going into the casters here. Not enough mana for Breath of Fire. Now he does have it. And Insomnia, maybe he should fall back for a moment, get his first tier 3 unit into play, as well as miou has his mortar teams, which are of course tier 2, but with the fragmentation shards upgrade is tier 3, his first knight, etc. But Insomnia really doesn't want to have his pressure ease off here, so miou's getting his first Dragonhawk, even a second Griffin Aviary for him, and the workshop, yeah, of course, for the mortar teams, whereas Insomnia, yeah, one workshop. Oh, he's got double barracks. Ah, that's maybe why miou is getting the second Griffin Aviary, because if Insomnia invests too much into knights here, then a couple of Griffins can, of course, deal a ton of damage to the blue army very, very quickly. Oh yeah, and Town Portal is coming to the bottom once again. The Peasant line has fallen. Another Water Mantle spawned by miou, whose AM has reached level 5 in the meantime as well. By the way, 1 staff for miou, no staff yet for Insomnia. New peasants being sent into the expansion immediately. Panda is about to reach for miou, level 3 as well. Next Breath of Fire is doing nicely. miou doesn't have a heal scroll, so that could potentially hurt him a lot if the Panda is getting in safe. Like, yeah, he's got 1 more Breath of Fire for the moment, but he still has the potion afterwards. miou's Panda has to be careful here, and yeah, he needs to be very, very careful. Staff has been used right now. Second mortar team finally arriving with the army, and he's doing plenty of damage to the castles of Insomnia. But now the mana potion is being used. Drunken Haze Breath of Fire is doing so much damage to miou as well. Both of the players losing plenty of units here. 3 knights remaining for miou, 2 for Insomnia. miou is losing all of his casters. Insomnia is now going to have to take care of his paladin, which is the very obvious target. And Breath of Fire is taking... Well, no, actually it was the Breath of Fire of miou, but still... of Insomnia, but still... Insomnia's paladin does fall here. Again, both of the players losing plenty of units, but miou is the one who still has priests left, who still has mortar teams, whereas Insomnia only has a couple of knights and 2 of his heroes on the field. Okay, 2 more knights coming in, as I said previously, with the double barracks. We're gonna see a lot of knights, perhaps. And is it gonna be enough to force miou away again? The AM of Insomnia is actually the first one who is gotta get going, and so is his Panda. So Insomnia can for now pretty much only rely on his units here, not his heroes. The AM is pulling away. The Panda, is he getting away? At least for the moment he is, but fighting without heroes is of course not really what you're aiming for. Paladin is back right now. He's going to be able to heal one of the heroes. Eventually Panda is coming back for miou, and he does have another breath, so this one should be dead if miou doesn't make any silly mistake. Both of them do have boots of speed.
Our town is under siege.
What? And he's turning around. Okay. Well, definitely had the chance there to kill Insomnia's Panda for a long time. Nevertheless, he's looking in a pretty good shape here. Both of the heroes of Insomnia pretty low, and he doesn't have the means to defend this expansion for now, so it looks like it's probably going to fall. Breath of Fire in here maybe now. Yeah, that's what he's using it for. And the Town Hall gets killed. One of the mortar teams from the back is being attacked. Again, Breath of Fire of Insomnia is coming in. One of miou's priests is falling. The mortar team might fall as well. But of course, right now the time is ticking for miou, as he still has expansion, and Insomnia is already giving up. Wow, that was a non-stop action game. Like right from the first time the players met at miou's expansion at like the, I don't know, 4-minute mark or so. Basically without any breaks. And miou is the one in the end who decides the match for himself, as he was able to, I think, do better, especially in the fight at the bottom left in front of Insomnia's expansion, where he was able to kill the Paladin, where he was able to drive both of his opponent's heroes away at very, very low HP, where he let the Panda survive for no apparent reason. But it was still enough for him to kill the expansion. And apparently, I think Insomnia didn't even lose too much of his army there, or he still had a decent amount of units remaining. But apparently losing the expansion was already enough for him to give up this game. And yeah, the next map in this best of 3 is going to be Tarina's Stand.